2020, what a crazy year. Lockdown, it's changed us all in one way or another. It changed me positively and negatively. Positively in the sense that I learned I had skills that I didn't realise I had. I learned how to bake. I baked cakes, I made bread, flatbreads for our curries. I even made some shelves out of wood and hung them up on the walls, made myself a little shoe rack. I learned how to groom my little dog. I learned all kinds of new stuff. But it's also very negative because I began to doubt who I was, what my purpose in this world was, what my gifts and calling are, where my talents lie. And as I started to doubt, I started to speak negative things over my life, and it was like I was digging a hole, burying the real me, and every negative thought was like another shovel full of dirt going on top of me, or another rock being thrown in, until eventually me, who I thought I was buried in this negative and very sad and desperate person was coming to the forefront. It's important who we listen to. Their words, people's words, and our own words that we speak over our lives have a massive impact. It's important to know where you put your faith. And I'm not talking about just a little bit of faith. I'm talking about, who do you actually believe in? Who do you actually trust when these words are spoken to you? Our politicians, our leaders, our national leaders? Who do you actually believe? Who do you actually put your faith in? Do you know, there's this great story in the Bible where Jesus is with his disciples, and there's lots of people observing, hundreds and thousands of people observing and listening to Jesus. And Jesus wants to know what these observers think of him. So he asks his disciples, he says, "Who do the people say I am?" And the disciples began to give him answers. They said, "Well, some think you're John the Baptist, and others think you're one of the prophets like Elijah." So Jesus pauses. He now wants to know what his followers, his closest friends think of him. And so he asks them a question. He says, "Who do you say I am?" And Simon Peter jumps straight up and he says, "You're the Messiah. You are the Son of the living God." Now that made Jesus really happy, because he knew he could speak words over their lives and they would believe him and trust him, because their whole faith was in him now, because they believed he was the Messiah, the Son of the living God. I think I felt during lockdown that I forgot in the darkness what I had heard in the light. You see, in the light, the Word of God actually tells me that I am greatly loved by him. I'm adored by God. It tells me that I'm created in his image, and I'm created for a reason and a purpose, because God creates everything for a purpose. It tells me that I am worthy. It tells me that I can have this grace that even Stormzy sang about, that I could be blinded by the grace of God, so powerful and brilliant in my life, giving me what I don't deserve, but what he wants to lavish upon me. So let me encourage you this day. If you've had a negative time during lockdown, take a look at who you're listening to. Whose words have you put your faith and trust in? Me, I've put them in Jesus. And that actually helped me during lockdown, because although I was locked down, I wasn't knocked out.